Tens of thousands of people have been displaced by renewed fighting along the Thailand-Cambodia border. That's as officials in both countries say they're retaliating to attacks by the other. More than 140,000 people have fled attacked areas. At least 10 civilians and soldiers have been killed this week. It's the latest flare-up in a long-standing border dispute. Thailand and Cambodia are accusing each other of violating a July ceasefire agreement. Al Jazeera has correspondents on both sides of the border. Barnaby Lo joins us live from Oddar Meanchey province in Cambodia. But first, Rob McBride joins us from Surin province in Thailand. So, Rob, battles were raging near where you are. How quiet is it right now?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the Thai military this morning is reporting that pretty much all of the provinces that border with Cambodia, there have been reports of fighting in this one province of Surin. There are reported exchanges happening in 5 different locations. We're in the village of Kap Chong, which is just a few kilometers from the Cambodian border. There is artillery positioned here. Occasionally you hear loud explosions as artillery is going off and the ripping of sound of shells going overhead in the direction of Cambodia. Despite the fighting here, some villages are remaining. There's a shelter just behind me where the villagers will take cover when things get bad. There have been, according to the villagers, explosions heard throughout the night, but they feel as though they can't leave. They've either got cattle here they have to look after or don't want to leave their homes, but most people have left here. This is the main highway that connects Cambodia with Thailand, and literally it is deserted, as most people have travelled now down to the provincial capital of Surin, where we have one of the evacuation centres. Literally hundreds of thousands of people now on both sides of the border have sought refuge, as they have done in the past, as the fighting continues here. And people, villagers we've spoken to who stayed throughout the last outbreak of fighting in July, that only lasted for a few days, hoping that this will end just as quickly.
All right, Rob, stay with us for a moment. We're going to go across the border. Let's head over to where Barnaby Lo is. He, of course, is on the Cambodian side. And Barnaby, Cambodia's Senate president is vowing to fight on. Does the conflict look like it's set to escalate where you are?
Yeah, unfortunately, Sammy, the conflict has already escalated. The Senate president, who is the longtime former Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Sen, who is also the commanding general of the Cambodian military, has said that Cambodia will not sit idly by while Thailand continues its attacks. He's also confirmed that Cambodia has launched retaliatory strikes, and he said this was after 24 hours of exercising restraint. Of course, retaliation is a Cambodian narrative. Thailand accuses Cambodia of starting this fresh round of hostilities. The Ministry of Defense of Cambodia also echoing Hun Sen's statement, saying that Cambodia has no choice but to defend its sovereignty in the face of aggressive Thai military action. Now, there is a little bit of silver lining. A senior advisor to Cambodian Prime Minister Manet has said that Cambodia stands ready to go back to the negotiating table, but it's unclear how that could happen, given that Thailand is demanding Cambodia halt its military actions first before it would go back to the negotiating table. But right now, all signs are that neither side is backing down, Sammy.
All right, let's take it back now to Rob. US officials, Rob, have been expressing concern about the fighting. Any sign that international concern might translate into another ceasefire commitment?
Yeah, the US was pretty instrumental in having a ceasefire with this latest outbreak of fighting. That was in July, with the personal intervention of US President Donald Trump calling the leaders of both Cambodia and Thailand to reach a ceasefire. It was also helped broker by regional leaders in Asia. And that was later ratified by the Kuala Lumpur Peace Accord that was signed in October, amid much fanfare. Again, one of the peace agreements that Donald Trump has announced as part of his first term. We've heard from Donald Trump that he is likely to make phone calls again in the next day or so. We've heard from Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, calling on both sides to a ceasefire, to de-escalate this situation. There were rumours circulating late last night about an imminent ceasefire. This was attributed to foreign media here in Asia. That has been discounted by the Prime Minister's office of Thailand, saying that as far as they're concerned, there's no truth to these reports that were circulating on social media. As far as the Thais are concerned, this fighting continues.
All right, let's take it back across that border on the Cambodian side. And Barnaby, thousands more people fled after more civilians were killed on Tuesday. What's happening to displaced communities? Where are people ending up?
Well, they're flocking to evacuation camps like this as fighting expands to 5 provinces here in Cambodia and 6 provinces in Thailand. But as you can see, the living conditions here are far from ideal. People are sheltering under makeshift tents like this. There are elderly and children here. And in some instances, there aren't even tarps. And so nothing to protect people here from the elements of nature. It could get hot during the middle of the day. It could rain really hard as well here. And this evacuation camp is huge. It houses around 10,000 people. It goes all the way back there and all the way to the other side. And people here are saying there is not enough aid going around. But the bigger fear, or the bigger concern here, is the fear that the violence could spread further. And right now, there are people packing, because we've been hearing loud explosions even though we're kilometers away from where the fighting is taking place. People packing, getting ready to move to another evacuation camp. And remember, this is not the first time that they've evacuated because of fighting between Thailand and Cambodia, and they say they're tired of doing this over and over again.
All right, let's thank our correspondents, Barnaby Lo there on the Cambodian side, Rob McBride in Thailand.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.